The Republican National Convention announcement is putting Senator Rob Portman in the presidential political spotlight again.
We just got some news that Cleveland will be hosting the Republican National Convention in 2016. What does this mean for the state of Ohio?
I'm thrilled.
Congresswoman Marcy Kaptur, thanks so much for your time tonight. Again, President Obama's fifth State of the Union address. Now we'll just have to wait to see if he can work with members of Congress to achieve his new agenda.
Our local lawmakers react to the controversial Supreme Court decision in favor of Hobby Lobby.
Do you think you could also use more support for tax reform from Republicans?
Well, I'm getting a lot of support. I'm obviously working through the bill.
What does this mean for jobs in our community?
Well, first of all, immediately it means
now you're being outspent, but you're up in the polls. So what do you have to say to your competitor, Terry LaLand?
Well, I said they are spending millions of dollars.
But now York's hometown guy could possibly be headed to the governor's office. Wolf made a quick speech where he talked about jobs, education, and the economy.
Both Robertson and Reed say they'll continue talking to constituents and touting their personal voting records right up until Election Day on November 4th.
First, of course, NBC News projected that the president won, and this crowd went crazy. People waving American flags, jumping up and down. Ohio is going to be taking center stage tonight here at the convention.
I'd like to know what you think about these numbers and how it's changed how you're campaigning in your home state.
You know, we're going to keep on fighting like an underdog.
He told me that he heard 5 gunshots. Then he actually saw people across the street ducking, getting down.
Congress finally voted to reopen the government and raise the debt ceiling.
It's been a confusing day for people in Boston as they try to cope with the bombings. They're also dealing with conflicting news reports about a suspect.
Several developments on the Syria front today.
There's been a steady stream of people braving the D.C. heat to come by the Supreme Court today where this huge decision was handed down. Slavery still exists in Michigan and in Flint. That's what sex trafficking experts say they want you to know. On some nights, more than 80 sex acts are performed at a single truck stop. Many of them by young children, the victims of sex trafficking. It all happens in beds like this one, in the back of a truck. Do you think that our community needs a wake-up call when it comes to this particular issue, sex trafficking?
We need a wake-up call, yes, in Northwest Ohio.
We know that in Ohio there's a shocking statistic. More than 1,000 children are involved in sex trafficking every single year.
All of our children are exposed, and the fight to keep them safe continues.
We're here in St. Petersburg because this is the first time since the Great Recession that world leaders are dealing with an economy that's stable enough to allow them to engage in talks that might actually lead to reform. The G20 agenda is wide-ranging, but I talked to our local lawmakers about what they say will have the biggest impact on your life. Vice President Biden and Secretary of State John Kerry have brought up the issue of Russian adoptions in very high-level meetings without success. President Obama is here in Russia, but he's not expected to meet one-on-one with Russian President Vladimir Putin, leaving doubt about whether anything can be done soon to reverse the ban on Russian adoptions.
The president arrives in Los Cabos, Mexico, and we're with him every step of the way.
What's happening on Capitol Hill as we talk to you late in the week here?
Well, Lee, lawmakers say they want more information and they want more transparency.
Let's talk about what is on that schedule right now. Let's take a look at the calendar.
Hi, Lee. Well, I actually do have the calendars here with me. This is the House schedule. They're only working for about 40 more days until the end of the year.
What was the feeling among lawmakers on Capitol Hill following his speech?
Well, Don, I talked to about 20 members of Congress following the president's speech, and I can tell you that not a single one of them said to me, yeah, I think it's a great idea that the president goes at this all alone. Welcome to Inside the Capitol. I'm Jacqueline Policastro in San Juan, where lawmakers say they're trying to shape the future of Puerto Rico. Tonight, we're taking you behind the scenes of the Jefferson Educational Society Global Summit. The meeting of some of the best political minds in the nation happened right here in Erie. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next week. And don't forget, in the world of politics, between now and then, anything could happen.